Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review, The Shift. This one's been out for a few weeks, and I kind of had the feeling I'm pretty good at this stuff of knowing when a movie is about to be gone from the theatrical scenarios. Just you kind of get a judgment, based on how long the movie's already been out, how popular the movie is, the big names in the movie, the whatever the fucks. So this one has been out for a few weeks, but I kind of had a feeling if I didn't see it today, I believe today was December 20th. If I didn't see it today, I probably would not get a chance to see it on the big screen. And you know me, I don't really like to watch movies at home on the TV. I will if I have to, but I prefer the big screen experience. And this was an interesting case. So first of all, should you see it? Should you not? That's a tough one for this one. I don't think that I don't think that I can give a clear answer for everybody. I'd say that if you're kind of open-minded, if you're open for some stuff, you would probably enjoy this movie. However, I enjoy the movie, but there's some things that I didn't enjoy for various reasons that I'll get into now. So I'm kind of split on whether I recommend this or not. I kind of feel like kind of depends on your mood, I guess, or your open-mindedness. Now I'll get into it, and I guess I'll just say spoilers. So I didn't know much about this movie going into it. I think I had seen a preview or two, and I think I had seen a headline or two. And once the movie started, it all came back to me, what I did know. This is from Angel Studios, which kind of made its name known in this past year, 2023. I want to say the summer. May or June or some such thing. Their big movie, big surprise hit of the year. I thought it was a great movie. The Sound of Freedom came out with Jim Caviezel and so forth. And I don't know why that movie is controversial. I mean, I can see where, whatever the fuck. But I mean, I thought the movie was really great. And I thought Caviezel, in any other circumstance, could be nominated for Best Actor Oscar for Best Actor, but I guess it's a political thing now. I don't know, but I thought he did a great job in that movie. So this is the same studio. So this studio, apparently it's trying to, it's not trying to, it's in the process of making a name for itself as being one of these Christian-based film companies. However, in the past, Christian movie fare has kind of been like, what's the Kirk Cameron series, Left Behind? Stuff like that, where it's, not to say cheesy, but a little, I don't know, just there's a certain flavor of these Christian movies, which Angel Studios is kind of, I would say, different than, not to say better than, but different than. It doesn't feel necessarily like a Christian film in a lot of ways, like this one. And I did do a review if you want to see my thoughts on the Caviezel movie from this past year. But this one, it does really feel like a sci-fi movie, or, a sci-fi, dystopian sci-fi movie. And what probably I didn't like about this movie is really unfortunate at its core. They can't really do anything about it because that's what the whole movie is. It's another multiverse movie. It's another fucking multiverse movie, but the wrinkle in this one is the devil, as they call him in this one. Neil McDonough, the actor, does a great job, I thought. They kind of use the pseudonym The Benefactor for the devil in this one. And I just kind of felt like, once we started going and once we started seeing things like the multiverse was clearly illustrated, like we're in a multiverse movie and there's different variations of people, and every time you make a choice there's another variant. I guess it kind of upsets me because I did write my novel A Distance from Avalon, which alluded to this same type of thing. I'm actually going to do a rewrite of my novel to eliminate in this universe. I'm going to do a rewrite of my novel to take out the multiverse part because I'm so sick of fucking multiverses and every goddamn thing. Here's Marvel with Marvelverse, and here's DC with its DCverse, and everyone's got a goddamn multiverse. I'm sick of it. So I'm in the fucking version of reality where Mike is sick of the fucking multiverses, okay? I'm just sick of it. Yes, it's a cool concept, but when everybody does the same goddamn concept, it's no longer cool. It's shit. So I'm just sick of this goddamn multiverse thing. And so I kind of just, I wouldn't say I lost interest in this movie, but I disengaged a bit once it became clear we're in a multiverse thing. Now, what did engage me, I think, I'll be honest, is you kind of had like a nice romance story here in this film. You have this guy, he's at the bar, and this lovely woman, who I did look up her IMDb stat and facts. This actress is from Texas, apparently. She has done other religious-based films. She played Mary Magdalene in The Chosen. Very attractive woman. And this is the type of attractive woman that's kind of like wife attractive as opposed to floozy attractive, okay? As opposed to harlot attractive. This is like the marrying type. Like, she's pretty enough that you could kind of wake up to her every day, but not so pretty that you'd be in a fist fight, you know, defending her honor against every asshole in the bar. Like, kind of a dignified, attractive woman. So there you go. So this woman's in this movie, this actress, and this guy, this character, Kevin, her name is Molly, his name is Kevin. She basically picks him up at the bar on a dare from her little Yenta friends, who we see later in the film. And we're off to the races. We kind of get the scenario. We do a nice effect of what's called flash forwarding, not flashbacks, but flash forwarding, which is kind of like not really the reverse of flashbacks, but it's like you see how their relationship will play out in the future. And apparently Kevin and Molly have themselves a wedding and a family, and they have a son that dies. And that's I mean, if you've seen my previous Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, I talk about certain film cliches that are just so accepted. One of them is the tragic car accident. Like, if you just need to have some tragic thing that killed somebody important, just throw them in a car accident and kill them. It's like the easiest thing. We can all relate to it. Oh my God, the tragic car accident. And I talked about Save the Cat, Blake Snyder, in one of my Instant Movie Reviews recently. His wonderful novel on screenwriting. And there's another thing which is kind of like beyond the Save Cat. It's like the dead parent or the dying parent. Like, if you want to have sympathy for a character, just, you know, have them have a dead parent or a dying parent or some such thing. In this one, you know, we have the dead child, which is like the grand daddy of them all, of sympathy routines. Like, oh, the young couple, everything was fucking perfect. Then they had a son, and the son died. And then we broke up, and I gave her a pendant. So all this goddamn horse shit. So my point is, folks, if I had seen this same movie, this in a different universe, if I had seen this movie, whatever it's called, the fucking movie, 5 or 10, 15 years ago, the fucking Shift, I would have probably enjoyed it more, simply because we haven't, you know, all these like I told you last summer when I saw, what's his dick in The Flash, Ezra Miller, okay? I mean, it amazes me that assholes like him get to be rich and famous and get all these second chances, and people with more talent like me sit in my goddamn car and talk about his fucking movies. He should be in his fucking car talking about my goddamn movies, okay? But I mean, I'm talking about this Ezra Miller fucking the goddamn Flash. And, you know, 2 weeks earlier, I had seen the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie, which, you know, is like the second of 3, apparently, of these Spider-Man animated epics. And everything that was done in The Flash, I had just seen 2.5 weeks earlier in the fucking Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, talking about key, like, terms and elements. And I just don't get it. I mean, I'm looking through YouTube and I'm seeing these videos like, oh, Star Wars ripped all this horse shit off of Dune. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I now I know, thank you. But I didn't know that. But watching the goddamn Spider-Verse shit and watching the Flash, it's like, oh my God, there's like actual like lines, like it's almost like lines of dialogue, but just key words and phrases. So my point, as I keep repeating myself, did you get that humor? I am just sick of the multiverse routine. So in this movie, The Shift, and basically it's like, oh, the benefactor, the devil, shifts you from one fucking universe to another, and he can just do it instantly with this fucking wristband. It's like that's another cliche of these sci-fi or fucking fantasy films. Every asshole has like a fucking watch, like the easy watch thing. It's never like a shoelace, or like it's never like something you put up your nose, or it's never like you don't pull your ear like Bewitched. It's always a fucking wristband thing, right? So it's like, that's my point. It's a well-made movie. It's well acted. The wife is very attractive, all that good stuff, but it's just a lot of shit that we've seen in other films. Now, I will say that this movie, The Shift, I think they took this whole multiverse thing in a very serious direction, and also there's an undercurrent of religion and Jesus and good stuff. Basically, Molly, the beautiful wife, has taught Kevin to come back to church. And when she gets shifted, I guess, after, once again, another tragic car accident, after a car accident, he like remembers some of the scripture that he learned going back to church with his wife. And in his new, universe where he's planted in, where no one has the Bible and so forth, he's like remembering scripture and writing it down and sharing it with Sean Astin, by the way. Now, I wasn't a big Frodo guy. That was Tobey Maguire, fuck. I really can't, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fucker, okay? But I guess Sean Astin was in all those movies. Was he also, was Sean Astin Rudy? Is that the same guy, or is there a different guy? But in any event, Sean Astin's in this thing. No offense, Sean, but Sean's looking a little bit bulky. Okay, so he's in this dystopian universe where everybody's starving, but Sean there's getting fed somehow. But it turns out, spoiler, he's one of the benefactor's little spies. Spies like us, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray. Good movie, by the way. So I just thought this movie was good. It's just tough for me to give it a full endorsement, because like I keep telling you, it's just so many things I've already seen. I feel like I've already seen these elements in other films, so it's hard for me to say, gee whiz, go out and see this one, because I just kind of feel like you've already seen some of it in other films, okay? So my point is, that's why I'm going to give this like a 3.5, 3.25 star out of 5. I do feel it's a well-made film. I think this Angel Studios, what they're trying to do, if I might be so bold, is they don't just want their movies to be like, good Christian movies where Christian people can see these movies and feel like they're not necessarily seeing just a boring-ass Christian film. They feel like they want to reach the mainstream audience, and in order to do that, to slip their little messages of hope and faith and all that good stuff in, they have to kind of cloak their Christian movie as the kids say, a secular film. I always hated that term, secular. So they want you to think, oh, this is just a regular movie, it's not whatever the fuck. And then they slip the Jesus in there, and they slip the God, and they slip the scripture, and they slip this in, and they slip that in. So, but they're doing that by making it, I think, pretty good movies. I just feel like with this one, however they got this script, and I don't know if this was, what you would call like in the theater world, they call it like a Christmas hat play, where you just have a regular script and then you throw Christmas hats on all the characters, and suddenly you have a Christmas play, right? So I don't know if this movie was kind of like that, because I could kind of see where the benefactor, maybe in another script, like it wasn't even the devil, it was just the bad guy, and they just kind of threw the wrinkle of him being the devil on there, and then like the scripture stuff, which a lot of it is just kind of, thrown into the movie at various points, like text on screen. I could actually see this having been originally a script that was not even a Christian script, where they just kind of Christmas hatted it, where they just kind of put the Christian stuff on top of things, basically to make it a Christian type of movie for Angel Studios. Now, I'm not saying that did happen. I'm saying I could see a universe where that did happen. See what I did? So my point of the matter is this, folks. like I said, I guess I feel like I think the movie's well made, it's well acted. They do the thing at the end where, oh, pay it forward, buy all these tickets for all these other assholes. Well, I'm seeing in the theater, folks. I'm the only one in the theater today seeing this movie, so it's not like people are breaking down the walls to see this movie, no offense. So, I mean, that's how they get you. I mean, Angel Studios did that with Caviezel and the fucking the Singing Children movie, The Sound of Freedom. But this one, I mean, no offense, guys, but I'm doing enough for the theater world, the film theater world, by doing all these Mike's Instant movie reviews, encouraging people to go to the movies. I can't supplement your incomes. Okay, I'm trying to make my own goddamn movies on One Man and a Camera Films. I can't supplement you guys selling tickets, okay? So, in any event, like I said, it's a good movie. It's well made. The acting's fine. There was a kind of a scene where our buddy there, Kevin, jumps into another universe. He jumps into another timeline, and they call them DOPs, like doppelgangers. He sees a version of himself where he's basically Scarface. So that was kind of fun. Like, he sees the Scarface version of himself. Apparently, the dop of Kevin that we're with in this movie is like the good Kevin. And all the other Kevins are a bunch of assholes, because you see him like being a Harvey Weinstein type. You see him doing all these other horrible things. Kind of an interesting thing they do in this movie is, like, you can go to this old rickety movie theater and you can screen yourself. Like, if you're in this universe that he's in, they have these like vision theaters or via theaters or vi theaters, I guess, like vicariously living. You can sit there and get hooked up to a machine, and you can see all the different universes that you are appearing in, which I thought was an interesting wrinkle. So like I said, this movie does have a lot of cool stuff as far as, variation on a theme. Like, this movie did go pretty deep into how this multiverse type of thing could work, or what would it feel like and stuff. My point, like I keep repeating myself, it's just, we've seen too many multiverse movies. I'm sick of fucking multiverse movies. I'm so sick of them. I'm revising my own wonderful novel, A Distance from Avalon, to get rid of the multiverse shit, because I'm just intolerant now. I'm multiverse intolerant. Okay, you've heard of lactose intolerant. I'm multiverse intolerant. Any future films, novels, books, TV series, whatever the fuck, that have a multiverse, I'm just not interested. I just think it's a cliche now. It's just it's a prop. It's a crutch. It's a creative crutch, because it's like, oh, everything's fucked up in this universe. Let's just make a multiverse, and then it'll solve all our problems, or whatever the fuck. So I'm just sick of it. But this movie, it's not its fault, because like I said, as I know, I didn't say this, but I do know this, it takes a long time for a film to get made. You might have an idea for a wonderful movie, and then by the time you write a treatment, and then write a screenplay, and by the time you get financing for this goddamn hypothetical movie, it might be 10, 15, 20 years, okay? Apparently, the movie Catch Me If You Can, even the mighty Steven Spielberg had the rights to that movie for like 20 years before he made it. I saw some other asshole on YouTube deconstructing the whole movie, Catch Me If You Can, saying it was all a bunch of horse shit, that the guy made up all these stories and he really didn't do half the things, or 2/3 or 3/4 the things that he said he did. Okay, so that's another goddamn thing. He said the guy's biggest scam was scamming Spielberg into thinking that he did all that stuff, like flew a plane or whatever the fuck. Okay, folks, so that's it. So, gee whiz, Mike, should we see this movie or not? I mean, you've talked us around in circles. Should we see it? Should we not? I don't know. I'm kind of mixed. In this multiverse, I say, yeah, go ahead and see it. It won't kill you. And in a second multiverse, I say, don't see it. It's boring. How about that? So, in any words, folks, I have been getting some nice responses, though, from people. People have been saying, gee whiz, Mike, your reviews are better than the movies. We appreciate you. You're the best person in the world. I do agree with that. I believe the gentleman's name was Chris Fiera. Chris said some nice things about one of my recent reviews. My buddy, my old pal there, Court Fisk, is very excited about my review of Wonka from the other night. Another fine gentleman made a nice comment. I can't wait for your Von Erich movie review. I wish it was just called Von Erich. or Von Erich's, but it's called the Iron Claw. I'm kind of sad that the Iron Claw, I mean, they went for the big cheese here, folks. They went for the December Christmas release, basically December 22nd. I have not seen the Iron Claw yet. I'm planning to see it tomorrow. But my point is, by doing such, by coming out in December, you're going against the Ferrari movie. I'm about to see that right now. There's all these other big movies coming out for Christmas. The Color Purple remake is coming out for Christmas. So when you play with big stakes, the Iron Claw will not be playing in the IMAX theater. It will not be playing the Dolby Digital. It's basically getting like the second choice, like the standard screens, right? So still good screens. I'm kind of in a quandary because I could see this movie, the Iron Claw, in Regal Theater tomorrow, or I could use one of my Cinemark subscription passes. But I mean, just to put a button on it, more or less it would cost me like 54 cents to see it at Regal because I already paid for the year subscription, or I could just see it at Regal, but I'd be using one of my Cinemark. I'd be using one of my passes. But I do know that Cinemark, it's a better movie experience. No offense, Regal, because the sound is better. But then I try to justify it and say, you know what, if I go see it at Regal, then I can kind of pretend it's like the 1980s. You know what I mean? Like, because the screen in the theater wouldn't be as good. So it kind of has a throwback to when all this stuff took place. So that's where I'm at, folks. But you have a nice day, whatever the hell you did with your day. Only 60 subscribers on this channel, which kind of pisses me off. So this is One Mike Messier, where I do Mike's Instant Movie Reviews. You could subscribe if you're a pro wrestling fan by any event. One pro wrestling and sports fan. You can see all my NXT coverage of live shows, not the horseshit TV shows, but I actually go to the goddamn house shows and take nice photos for you fucks. If you want to say, well, gee whiz, Mike, you have all these opinions, but what do you do with your life? Well, you can buy one of my wonderful books, Fighter Play Basketball, A Distance from Avalon. You better buy it now because I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. So you want to have both multiverses versions of it, right? And you can also go to One Man and a Camera Films, watch all my 73 award-winning productions, 73 awards across all my productions and so forth. So that's it, folks. MikeMessier.com. I still don't know. I'm still multiverse.